We made a short film and I'm going to talk about it. And if you haven't seen it yet, what are you even doing here? How did you get here? Go watch the film, come back here, watch this, then like and subscribe because I need your validation. If it fits! I recently purchased a red Komodo, and the first thing most people ask you when you upgrade your camera is okay, yes, I know. I've been shooting on my A7S II for many years. I'm shooting on it right now, actually. And I still love the image, but I wanted to shoot raw. I wanted a little more flexibility with the image in post. I wanted a little more dynamic range. I thought about the Blackmagic Pocket, but I wanted something with weight, a little more heft to it. I wanted something I could grow into professionally, and price-wise, the Komodo seemed like my best choice. And since I had all this new gear, I wanted to test it out. I didn't want to just walk around shooting things. That's helpful, and I did do that, but there's no intention behind that. I wanted an experience where I'm dealing with time constraints and battery life and how much space I have on my CFast card. You know, learn by doing. And so we made the short film. Of course, I'm an idiot and wrote something really difficult. I can't just put two people in a room midday talking. It has to be at night with special effects, makeup, and visual effects. But we won't get into how much of a moron I am. We filmed almost everything over the course of one night. My children were home, so we started upstairs and worked our way down so that they could go to bed. They were also the reason that we had to do almost all of the audio in post. Like I said, we shot on the red Komodo. This is my rig. I'll leave links to all that stuff in the description if you're interested in that sort of thing. But do we really need another rig build video on the internet? I'm not sure that we do. I will say though that now having shot with it, it does need some adjustments. I got the outrigger handle, which I think if you're going with a leaner setup than what I was using, it might be worth the money, but for me, it seemed kind of superfluous and oddly placed. I was under any cord management. I need to work on it. Also, now having gone through the footage, I think I got a little too used to my Sony's low light abilities because everything is a little underexposed. Not so much that it's unusable, but more noise than I wanted. We didn't have any overly complicated setups, but I like the look we got in the living room. We used an Aperture 300D with a blue gel outside for the moonlight and a Dracast panel light over to the right here, motivated by this lamp. Upstairs, we tried the same thing. It's a little too much moonlight. The moon seems to have entered the child's room. That's because we were on the second floor and couldn't get the aperture outside the window. Isabel showed up about an hour before we shot, and Greg did all of her makeup while we started getting some of the shots upstairs. We knew we wanted to alter her a little bit for that final shot. The jaw, the eyes, and the teeth. Again, nothing all that fancy. I tracked the eyes, masked out the eyes, tracked the mask, and then I just want to do glowing eyes, and I'm not sure why. I just want eyes to glow, and it's so difficult to get the glow right and to make it look realistic that I start and it ends up looking ridiculous and I just give up on it. So I don't even know why I tried. But I took some stock images of bloodshot eyes for texture, darkened them to match the dark makeup, and then added a tiny little reflection. For the jaw, we wanted to stretch open just slightly past what's natural, and I used a simple mask and keyframes, bringing the position down as Isabella slowly opened her mouth, and I smeared her actual mouth down behind it. This is where the underexposure helps because it hides some of the messier work. If that was well lit, it would probably look kind of ridiculous. And then I tried to create this jaw tearing effect, which came out good enough for how long it's on screen. For that, I used the advanced lighting effect to create a matte, animated it, set it to silhouette alpha, pre-comped, and then used a slime asset I found online to create some of that gooey, terry goodness. Same thing for the eyes in the shot by the door, except it was much easier because she's so far away and it's only for a few frames. And the only other visual effect I had to do was a screen replacement for the podcast. I also had to create the cover art for the To Die For podcast. If anyone's starting a new true crime podcast and they want to call it To Die For, reach out. I'm really happy with how this came out, and luckily for me, I had a bunch of people dumb enough to help me out. Greg Johnson did all the creature design and makeup as well as helping film. Isabella Perry was our demon. Santo Scardillo came out and to help film and brought along a bunch of his gear. The egregiously talented voice actress Charlie Albers graciously recorded our fictional podcast along with my wife Candace, who is doing double duty as co-host as well as woman. They are all talented artists and wonderful people, and links to all their things and stuff are down in the description. I think all that was out of focus. I'm batting 0 today. I just filmed this and had to redo it because the camera didn't record it. Sony. My Komodo would never do that to me. And now, if you've made it this far into the video without having watched the short, that's impossible. So go watch it.